What up, y'all? What it do? I'm back. I haven't done a video since Thursday night. This is either episode 12 or 13. We're getting one video closer every time to get into that 21-day mark. So, stick to it. You see I'm doing it. Gotta open the doors that you want open. I'm not going to say too much on it because I don't want it to fall through. But like I said, and like I keep telling you, if you stick on the path, you believe in yourself, you can do it. If you put yourself in the right positions, that's how you create luck. That's what I was told. You don't get lucky, you create lucky. You know what I mean? You create luck. Whatever you want done, you have to go out there and get it, and then God will put that extra push in that position that you're looking for. But before we get too started, I told you guys, I keep telling y'all, we're gonna talk about sports as well. So basketball season's right around the corner. That should be a pretty interesting one because there's a lot of games. Sometimes they be playing like 6 games at once, like they play the East Coast and West Coast sides. I like the West Coast. Obviously, I'm a Lakers fan, but I think I like the Western Conference better. In my opinion, the Western Conference has always been better than the Eastern Conference. Yeah, you got the Bulls or whatever in the 90s and all that stuff, but that's old. But for right now, we're still just keeping it football. Football starting Saturday. LSU, I did good. I had them winning. It was South Alabama. That's light work. I also knew BYU was going to win. They beat Baylor. Baylor just came off a big win against Colorado, or a big loss against Colorado, but they took them to the distance. So, you know. They also took BYU. They only lost by a touchdown. So Baylor's a good team. But, Michigan faced Minnesota. That one actually got a lot closer than I thought towards the end. They knocked off USC, so I'm happy about that. They keep finding ways to win. Bama beat Georgia. I called that one too. Georgia's a pretty good team. I haven't seen them be tested yet, but just from what I was seeing, I really didn't have faith in them. And once again, that game went to the wire. They overcame like a 28-point deficit or something. They was getting waxed that first half. And like the last half, they scored like 4 or 5 touchdowns. I think they lost 31-38. Very good game. But Saturday or Sunday, Colts faced the Steelers. We won. We beat them Steelers, bro. I had no faith in the team until we started playing. I saw those first 2 drives. I was like, okay, we got this. Anthony Richardson got hurt. Very controversial play going on right now. We don't know what's good with his hip. Shane Steichen's under some heat because he subbed bro back in when he first got hurt. I personally don't disagree with the call because I'm like, hey, 250 pounds, 6'4", you're a dog. The tackle that he got injured with, it didn't look that bad. But if it made him fumble or something, it might be an eternal problem. We had to rely on Joe Flacco. I don't know. You know what I mean? I really don't know how it's going to go. So we'll have to see about that. I don't think he's going to play next week. I think you might be rushing it now because obviously he didn't take much contact for him to be hurt like that. So if he plays next week, I'm going to be a little nervous. But just the topic of today's video, right? We're going to be talking about producing quality from putting in work. So what that means is once you're on that path and you decided, yo, I'm about to work hard every day, I've decided a goal. Initially, I think you don't want to strive for perfection. You just want to be present. You want to be there. You want to be doing stuff. And you just want to focus on just getting into the habit of being in that situation. And then once you start really getting good at what you're doing, then you can start focusing on quality and skills, right? But what I'm trying to say is when you dedicate yourself to something, whether it be a career whether it be a hobby, whether it just be like a passionate project, like a personal goal, you always want to make sure you are aiming for at least um, 80 to 90% quality. I try not to say 100% because then that's when you start getting to 100. I mean, that's when you start getting perfectionist and all that stuff. And I really think a lot of people struggle with trying to be perfect, that it just deters them from doing anything, period. So if you can just say, okay, I'm not going to aim for 100%, but I'm going to aim for at least 80 to 90% accuracy, then you can start having more confidence to achieve stuff. And then once you start getting solid with 80%, you're like, yo, all right, let's move it up to 90%. And then once you get to 90%, then you can start having days when you get to 100%. And then who knows, depending on what you do, that can become a habit. Then you can just start striving at 100%. Or maybe 97, 98%. There's no such thing as perfect. I really want to make that clear. But the longer you work on something, the better you get. Everybody knows that. Whether you play sports, whether you play chess, whether you're learning a language, whether you're working a regular job, whether you're doing a hobby, no matter what, art, no matter what you're doing, you have to constantly put the time in. You've heard the saying, you have to master 10,000 hours to do anything. There's 8,760 hours in a year. So in less than 2 years, you can master something if you really dedicate yourself to it and you just remain focused. I know that's easier said than done. There's self-sabotage, there's self-distractions, there's outside distractions, there's just a lot of stuff that can come through that'll make you not want to do it. But if you put it in your mind, 8,760 hours in a year to master something, you should do it. Now, I do want to say a lot of those hours are probably spent sleeping. You still need to eat. You have to work on your regular job. So it may take more than a year. But that was just an interesting fact I realized. Like, yo, if they're saying 10,000 hours to master something, and about close to 9,000 of those hours is done in 1 year, it kind of makes things seem more feasible. Like, that's another goal reaching technique they say you're supposed to do. You're supposed to turn a big goal into smaller goals and just give yourself confidence. That's definitely how you want to look at it. I break everything down that seems daunting, and you should be able to achieve it. So, yeah. And like I said, don't try to focus on 100% accuracy, maybe 80 or 90% accuracy. But another thing that I think is important to know is just talent may open the doors, but hard work keeps them open. Like I told you guys, if you keep seeing me look off to the side, I'm taking the notes now. I just don't want to lose my train of thought. I want to make sure if you are giving me your time, I'm at least focused and it's chopped up. It makes sense. It's all flowing together opposed to me all over the place. I'm not remembering what I'm thinking until it's after. Then maybe once I finish the video, I'm like, oh, I forgot to say this point. So write it down. I usually use the phone, but obviously I'm recording on my phone, so I'm using a paper. But just back to it. A lot of people are natural at things, beginner's luck maybe. You may say, hey, I got into this door because, I'm good like that. But even those people who make it to the NFL, once they get in there, it's not like they stop going to practice. It's not like they stop looking for trainers or the NBA. Once you get there, what do? They usually go buy more expensive trainers, or they go to even better professional, because now that hard work or that talent has opened the door that put them in front of somebody who can do more. So just because you are talented doesn't mean you're already good to go. There's other steps you have to take in order to be great. And then that is basically that hard work that keeps the door open. Because just as quickly as you can go through an open door, it can close. So you have to keep paying that rent. I know you. They say like work like the rent is due every day, right? Every day the rent is due. What else do I got here? Yeah, yeah. Like I was just saying, I've been a manager before, and that was because I was coming in just like, yo, I'm gonna work hard. I know I'm talented. People liked how I started the work. Once I became good at the work, I said, yo, I'm gonna take your job. You know what I mean? I was putting in that work. And that's kind of what I'm doing at this new job. I told you I'm gonna try to really do it because it just needs to be done. Quality comes from continuous improvement and achieving smaller, broken down goals. That's kind of what I was telling you earlier. So that's, I don't know if you guys can notice, but that's just what I was saying. Like, so when I'm writing this stuff down, I'm being prepared. Just me being in this state of mind, having this flow, it kind of ties into these bullet points without me having to look down at the paper continuously. So I know I've said it in past videos. Keep sticking with it. Sports champions require mastery. Yep, see? Yep. Yeah, I talked about a lot of this stuff already. The last thing I just want to say is it took me about 7 months to find a job before. This economy's tough, right? But I never gave up. It's not always going to be your fault about the obstacles that come in your way. You can be so dedicated and then it just might not work out. But that doesn't mean you lose faith. That doesn't mean you lose belief in yourself. That means you show your persistence, you show your toughness, and you keep pushing through. And that's so important because I feel like a lot of people are just taught to give up. And I don't really want to encourage that. But yeah. Alright, guys. Sorry. I'm getting a little off topic. We're going to wrap it up for today, alright? So basically, quality comes from dedication, from being perfect, from not being perfect, from trying to do the best you can. And even today's video, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but I think I have a lot of good points in there which you'll be able to understand, which is literally my point. The fact that I'm on episode 12 or 13 is good enough for me. I am a little distracted, but I'm here. You know what I mean? This is another notch on my belt. When people ask me, hey, what do? You got a YouTube? I can tell them, yes, I do. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Check out my link. My name's Smooth Clips, ENT. I've had this profile for years now, but it took me all this time to get there, so I'm finally there. So, yeah, guys, bear with me. Rock with me, subscribe, like it, all that good stuff. See y'all tomorrow.